1,000 scouts roaming the city of Presidents last weekend. It was the Scouting Camporee that was held at Pageant Field and various other locations across the city. So Chair of the Quincy Friends of Scouting, Ray T-Burge, is here to tell us what happened. Hey, Ray.
Good morning, Joe. Great to see you.
Yeah, the city was invaded by scouts.
Absolutely. We loved it. We loved it. Yeah.
Camporee was what it was called, right?
Sure. A camporee is typically a couple of towns or regional collection of scouts, typically for a weekend, for a short period of a few days. A jamboree is a national or world level event. So that's the difference between camporee and jamboree. We did have some vocabulary issues.
Learned something new already.
Learned something new. There you go.
Had there ever been such an event in Quincy?
There had. There's actually a long history. I found an old brochure from exactly 60 years ago, 1964.
Wow.
There was a camporee up at Pageant Field. The Fuller brothers, if anybody's familiar with John and Buell Fuller, they were a couple of brothers, identical twins, lived up in Squantum, gave their entire lives to scouting.
Wow.
And they hosted a camporee at Pageant Field. It's called the American Heritage Camporee.
Okay.
So it was interesting that the theme was exactly the same, because they typically always have a theme. And this year's theme, if you will, was the President's Trail.
Right.
We're really kicking off the President's Trail. It's existed for a few years now, but this was the first massive effort to really hike the trail and experience the trail and hopefully put it on the map.
Neat. So where did all the scouts come from, Ray?
New England. We invited troops from all over New England. Unfortunately, we didn't have anybody from Vermont or Rhode Island, interestingly, but we had troops from Maine, New Hampshire, Connecticut, and certainly most of Massachusetts.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the ages and
12 to 17.
12 to 17.
Yeah.
Boys and girls, right?
Boys and girls,
Yeah.
exactly.
As
Yeah.
girls are part of scouting now, the overall umbrella of scouting.
And we had Girl Scouts, local Girl Scouts from Quincy participate as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Very good.
Yeah.
And they marched the President's Trail, right?
They marched the President's Trail. It's a 5-mile loop all the way out to Abigail's Cairn and back. And we did something interesting. We had tour guides with them. We don't want to just sort of throw them a map and say, go get it, you figure it out.
Right.
So we actually spent months training guides. So each group of 25 would have 2 guides, a lead and a sweep. And they had a script that was approved by Bob Damon, the town historian.
Yes.
We also ran it by national parks and a multitude of other people to make sure that what they said was factually correct and they were not just sort of winging it, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And they guided them all along the 10 stops of the President's Trail, including going all the way out to Abigail's Cairn. We had some reenactors out at the Cairn, reenacting Abigail Adams, and also we had a John Adams at the birthplaces.
Very good.
So they really got a taste of living history.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have a bunch of pictures from the event, and I know that it was kept quiet beforehand, right? For safety reasons.
For safety and security reasons,
Yeah.
we had 1,000 people on the field that were not locked in their homes. They were in a little nylon tent with zippers, and we just wanted to make sure that things didn't get out of control.
Yes, and I know there was plenty of oversight. The Sheriff's Department
Correct.
was
Yeah,
kind
the
of
Sheriff's
a main
Department,
sponsor.
QPD, Quincy Police did a fabulous job of providing service for us as well as a Norfolk County Sheriff.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah.
Show and tell time.
Sure.
Yeah, you brought a bunch of
Fantastic.
pictures. Thank you for that.
My pleasure. My
Give
pleasure.
folks just a little behind-the-scenes look at what the camporee looked like.
Yeah.
Look at the Ruth Gordon Amphitheater there.
Ruth Gordon Amphitheater was packed, which was really exciting. This is the opening ceremony where the mayor came to welcome everybody to the city.
Yep.
That certainly was a big goal of the event, was to welcome people to Quincy, get them excited about Quincy, hopefully coming back and bolstering tourism and engaging with the local businesses, but just to share the history so that people would know just how connected the city of Quincy is to the American Revolution and American history.
Absolutely. Yep.
So obviously the mayor did a great job with that. This is the mayor's daughter, Alana, singing the national anthem.
Oh, very good.
Yep. The mayor had a throat issue,
Oh, is that
so
right?
he couldn't sing.
Okay.
So he said, I brought the better voice. She did
Very
a great
nice.
job.
Looks like you had a beautiful day for the opening
We
ceremonies
did. It was
too.
glorious.
Yeah.
Yep. And then certainly part of camping with scouting is a gateway. So this group is building a gateway to identify their brand, what troop number they are.
All right.
So it happens I know this is Troop 19 from Littleton, Massachusetts.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
And with that picture, you really get a sense for how close Pageant Field is to
the
the
ocean.
coastline.
Yes.
Yeah. Now that it's been remodeled up there.
Yes. So many leaders said to me, Ray, even if we did nothing, if we just came and camped, it would have been grand.
Exactly.
So many of our camporees are buried in the woods somewhere as the public doesn't see them. It's some rocky place. They're like, this field is gorgeous.
Yes.
And you have an oceanfront view with a beautiful breeze and the smell of the ocean.
Yeah.
It was exquisite.
Very
It was great.
nice.
So the one of the three goals of the Camporee was community service, and so this is a group of scouts from 202 Topsom, Maine, and they are planting some of the 23,000 tulip bulbs. There were some azaleas and lilacs and daylilies in there, but it was about 20,000
Is that right?
tulips. This is what we call Diane's Island, or the berm on Marymount Parkway.
Oh, sure. Okay.
Yeah.
So come next spring.
Come next spring, the city of Quincy is going to see 23,000 flowers popping.
Wow.
Celebrating the 400th and
Yes.
celebrating scouting.
Oh, that's a
So
great
we were
idea.
happy to give back in that way. 4,000 hours of community service.
Very nice. Very
Yeah.
nice. It didn't just stay in Quincy, though, right?
Correct. We
Yeah.
moved around. Obviously, most of the event was at Pageant Field
Yeah.
and the surrounding parks doing community service. But we did do some shuttling out to, this is the Sheriff's Leadership Academy out in Braintree.
Yes.
And so those that wanted to go, we got them out there. So these are some scouts having a good time out there. The sheriff was incredibly supportive and provided the staff. This is one of our own 42 Quincy scouts having a great time on the zip line.
Is that a zip line? Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, I thought
yep.
so. Yeah, very good. And more of the same, looks like.
Yep.
Now you have looks like older scouts helping younger scouts. Is that kind of the theme?
The staffer in the hoodie is actually part of the sheriff's department.
okay.
Yeah,
All right.
part of his staff. We do have some of our teens that serve on his staff, but
Yeah.
this particular day we told him take the day off. We want you to be a participant and enjoy it.
Okay.
So he provided the staff. Now, in this case, this is a scout climbing up the quarries,
Yes.
and the two staffers that we see here are actually scouts that are all certified, level 1, level 2 climbers to provide the safety, and they provided all of the harnesses and anchors and made sure that everybody was safe.
You know, it's a part of Quincy we sometimes forget about it.
Absolutely.
There's a huge rock climbing community
Absolutely.
that loves the quarries. Right?
Absolutely, yeah. And the kids coming from Worcester and Sabattis, Maine, and Torrington, Connecticut,
Yes.
had never experienced anything like this. So for them, it's brand new.
Yeah, we think it's just every day,
Yeah,
but
exactly.
it's nice to show off the city a little bit.
Exactly.
The parts in
Everybody was impressed.
Yeah.
And great memories. So this is Tom Caulfield, one of our assistant scoutmasters, and he was actually teaching a merit badge, first aid merit badge, and he offered himself up as a potential victim for this young scout. I think he's won West Rocks, if I remember right. And he is demonstrating to Mr. Caulfield that he knows how to properly secure a damaged arm.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very good. Yeah. It's good for both of them, for
Exactly.
the scout for trying it and for the volunteer for stepping up to offer his arm. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So this is one of our tour guides, Kobe Kwong, and he was leading a group headed up Franklin Street, headed up to Abigail's Cairn, but he's making a stop here at the
Birthplaces. Yep, I see that. Yeah.
And so he is the lead. There's another gentleman in the back with a safety vest and radio, keeping everybody on track and going through the script and explaining. And then they would stop here briefly and either meet with the reenactor or with the rangers from
okay.
national parks and learn a quick taste of the birthplaces. We only had 4 hours to cover the 5 miles, so every stop was about 5 or 10 minutes. It was
Gotta
just a taste.
Keep it moving. Yeah.
To keep it moving,
Sure.
and to give them an interest in coming back and
Exactly.
exploring Quincy more deeply.
Yeah, no question, absolutely. Well, you've got the kids from all over New England, learning about the Revolution and how it
Exactly.
started right here. Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah. When I saw this picture, I said, I hope the fire department was on scene.
They were, and you can see the truck in the background.
Okay.
Certainly, that was the first call I made to the chief.
Right.
And he was very gracious and said, "Sure, no problem.
Okay.
We'll get you covered." And when it came time to do a bonfire on a beach, I thought no better group to call than the scouts from Howe's Neck, who have a deep history of doing bonfires on a beach.
On the 4th of July.
On the
yes.
4th of July,
Yeah.
exactly. So
Okay.
I want to give Troop 6 out on Howe's Neck credit for building this. I brought 100 pallets from work.
Okay.
I said, "How many do you need?" They did this beautiful, Revit design on CAD. "We need 100 to build a pyramid."
Wow.
And I said, "Great." So I dumped 100 pallets, and on Sunday they built this amazing structure, probably about 60 feet tall. And we gave it a little liquid encouragement, if you know what I mean. And it happened that afternoon. It rained.
Yes.
And so I had a leaders meeting about 6:15, and it was set to light off at 7. And the leaders were a little nervous whether it was going to happen or not. I said, "No, this thing's tall and hot enough
Yep.
that even in the rain, it's going to go."
And obviously.
And obviously, right at 7,
Yep.
the rain stopped. So it was perfect timing. We lit it, and there was just enough of a breeze to give it a little lateral movement there. But the fire department was there. They did a great job. and it was exciting.
Yeah.
For most of these scouts, it's the biggest bonfire they've ever seen in their life.
I'm sure, yeah.
and it
Then
worked
there
out
was
great.
a little engineering that went into the design of it too,
Yes,
so it
exactly.
was also an educational
Yep,
experience. What
with some
beach was
thought.
that, Ray?
That is what I call Blacks Creek Beach. It's the backside of Pageant Field
sure.
that bleeds into Blacks Creek. I don't know if it's technically its name, but it connected a beach with
Yes.
Blacks Creek.
Yes,
you know?
yes. Very fun.
Yeah.
Now, part of the camporee included, you've brought some just some medals and some patches.
Sure,
Yeah,
sure.
if we could show.
Certainly part of the event was hiking the trail.
Yeah.
And so the medal and this patch are what the scout would earn for hiking the whole 5 miles and stopping at each of the stops.
Okay.
And learning about the trail.
Yep.
And the important role that Quincy played in the American Revolution. This is the event patch for attending the camporee. And then this is what we call the ambassador's patch. And this is something that a scout that would earn, that wanted to go above and beyond. Maybe they helped pick up trash, they introduced themselves to others, they just participated in everything.
Yes.
They were really engaged, so they
Okay.
would be like a model scout.
Very good.
So for those scouts that wanted to go above and beyond, they could earn that. And then this is what we call the jacket patch, a chenille jacket patch.
Just hold it up a little. There you
Sure.
go, yep.
And this is a patch that typically a unit leader would purchase and put on the back of their scouting jacket
see, okay.
as a memento of attending the event.
Yeah, very nice. So they get keepsakes.
Keepsakes.
Take
So
with
I
them,
wanted
yeah.
to point out the differentiation. The patch and the medal are something that goes in perpetuity.
Yep, there you go. Okay.
And so going forward, scouts can still come to the city of Quincy, hike the trail,
Yep.
and earn the patch and the medal.
Oh, okay.
The camporee, the ones that have the camporee designation on them, is a one-time.
Just for that event.
Just for this weekend.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
So these are still available for
Still
scouts who
available,
want to
yeah.
earn
We
them?
have a website, presidentstrail.org.
Okay.
Similar to the Freedom Trail
Yes,
in Boston.
yes, okay.
Okay, but scouts, about 1,000, a little over 1,000 a year come to Camp Sayre,
Oh.
which is out in Milton.
Sure.
They hike the Freedom Trail, and then we want them to come to Quincy and hike the Quincy President's Trail.
Okay,
Yeah.
very good. Nice, very
So
nice.
there's a legacy component to the event as
Yeah.
well.
Speaking of legacy, you have brought with you a little piece of scouting history
Sure,
here
I-
in Quincy.
I had the good fortune of inheriting this photo from an old timer, an old scouter who's passed away recently, and
Yeah.
and his estate gave me a call. This is a picture of the first troop in Quincy,
Wow.
1919, forming together in front of the old town hall.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. 1919.
That's insane.
It is. It is.
This is
It's really
right
a
after
fabulous.
World War I almost, and they still look like
Some World War I era
Yeah.
clothes. But for me, it speaks the story that scouting has been giving to the city of Quincy for over 100 years.
Right.
For over 100 years, scouts have been planting flowers or trees or doing community service, helping out with food and clothing drives, whatever. Each of these scouts, you would think, would be working towards the eagle.
Right.
And so there have been thousands of scouts over the years, over the past 100 years,
Yes.
that have been giving and giving and giving to the city. And it's been a great relationship. We're
Matter
so
of fact,
grateful.
the camera person shooting that picture is an Eagle Scout.
Correct.
Our own Chief Fred Shepard here on
That's
our
right.
volunteer staff. So.
Thank you, Fred. Shout out for 42.
Absolutely. Thanks for bringing that, Ray. That's
Sure,
really neat.
my pleasure. I thought it was a great nostalgia piece.
Yeah,
That
sounds
would
like
be
it was a really
interesting to see.
successful event.
In all levels.
Yeah.
For the city, for the scouts, for the chamber, for the sheriff, for everyone involved.
Yeah.
I think it was a resounding success.
And I'm sure it'll be a big topic of discussion at the upcoming breakfast.
Quincy Mayor's Good Scout Breakfast,
Yes.
absolutely. A little segue, a little
Yeah,
pitch
yeah.
here. It'll be December 5th
Okay.
at the Terrell Room at the Elks at the top of the hill.
Yeah.
I can't announce this year's honorees yet.
Okay.
But we'll put it as a teaser to save the date. We'd love to have you buy a ticket and see you at the Quincy Mayor's Good Scout Breakfast on December 5th at the Terrell Room.
And that's an annual tradition in itself, right?
It is,
Yeah.
it is, yep. You can see more of these pictures, by the way, on the QFOS, QuincyFriendsOfScouting.org
Oh, good.
website.
Okay.
I believe you've done a little tag at the bottom
Yes.
here.
Yep.
So if you want to see more pictures, and also you'll be able to buy tickets to the breakfast at that same website.
At that same website, okay. What's the current, kind of status of scouting in Quincy? Ray,
Sure,
would you
the
say?
status of scouting
Yeah.
in Quincy is fundamentally we're down to two traditional Scouts BSA units, Troop 6 out on House Neck,
Mm-hmm.
Pack 6, Troop 6, and then 42, which has a pack, a troop, and a crew. Pack
Okay.
is for elementary school age,
Gotcha.
Troop is middle to high school, and then we have Venturing, which is high school to college age. All of those programs are co-ed, and then on top of that we also have Girl Scouts, the GSUSA units. and there are probably about 150 Girl Scouts
Are there really?
involved. Yeah, and
Okay.
about 250 of the Scouts BSA. So all in, that's about 400 kids in
some
the city
form
of
of
Quincy are in some form of scouting, one of those two programs.
Yeah.
And Quincy Friends of Scouting supports both of them.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So we appreciate the support and the opportunity to teach civic duty and citizenship, participative citizenship, and trying to become the best human beings they can be.
And if there are young people that still want to get involved with scouting,
Sure.
how do they do that?
They can go to that same website,
Okay.
qfos.org. At the bottom of the page are links, hyperlinks, to take you to each of the different groups.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Hey, this has been a lot of fun. Thank you
Truly
so
my
much.
pleasure, Joe.
It's a pleasure to shine the spotlight on scouting in Quincy and on the camporee.
Yeah.
Where's it going to be next year?
We're on a holding pattern,
Oh.
as Belichick would say. Just worry about this game.
Okay.
We had to get through this week. And also, we're really focused on celebrating Quincy 400 next year.
Certainly, yeah.
In support of the mayor doing that. And so I know that the field is already preoccupied for Columbus Day weekend next year. So we'll see.
Okay.
I won't say one and done. I won't close the door.
Okay.
But I will say it's a lot of work, and we want to keep it special. So maybe it'll be every 3, 4, 5 years.
Okay.
I don't know what the number is yet. I'm still recovering and getting my sleep from this one.
Understood.
And celebrating. It surely was a fabulous event, and I think we succeeded in all of our goals. And we look forward to continuing to celebrate scouting with the city of Quincy.
Well, thanks for stopping by and sharing with us. Appreciate it.
Truly my pleasure.
You are welcome.
Thank you for the time.